These games between the Phils and the Cardinals have been kind of like 3 years ago. Game number 1, the Cardinals jumped out to an early lead against Kyle Kendrick and then added to that lead with this home run by Matt Adams. But the Phillies slowly picked away against Adam Wainwright. Ryan Howard picked up 2 more RBIs against his hometown team. And then Carlos Ruiz shoots this ball back through the middle. And the Cardinals, they usually play clean baseball. Well, they didn't play clean baseball on this play. Matt Adams' toss over to Matt Carpenter gets away. And Ryan Howard, much to the delight of the fanatic, was able to slide home safely to give the Phillies the lead for good. Game 2, the Phillies were down 5-2, and then this home run the opposite way by Ryan Howard just over the flower bed made it 5-3. A tremendous at-bat by Marlon Byrd. He flicks this ball into shallow right center field, and 2 runs scored to tie it up. But then in the 12th inning, Kenny Giles, he's been lights out all year, gives up this sacrifice fly. Descalso scores from third, and the Cardinals take the lead in the 12th, and they win game number 2. And now on a beautiful day for baseball here in Philadelphia, everybody getting tuned up for this afternoon's finale between the Phils and the St. Louis Cardinals. Sundays with Schmidt here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Jamie Moyer and Mike Schmidt. Everybody's got their rest. Everybody's ready to go. Last night, obviously, an interesting ball game. If you look at the 1 inning when the Cardinals scored their big runs, and if you also look at a couple of the key at-bats late in the game that not only tied it, but led to extra innings.
Right. We talked about them during the game while they were going on. A lot went on last night, but there were 2 at-bats. You see one right here. Marlon Byrd ties the ball game up. Pat Neshek, an all-star pitcher, throws a nasty slider for strike 1, paints the outside corner for strike 2, paints it again. Marlon fights it and fouls it, and then dives out over the plate and just kind of cue shots off the end of the bat, a single and a big one. 2 runs scored to tie the ball game. And later in the game, we saw Matt Carpenter come to the plate. As we stated during that part of the game, the wrong guy to have up there. He gets him in from third base with 1 out. Giles' high fastball hit the left field. Bingo. Winning run comes in. That's Cardinals baseball.
It is Cardinals baseball. They struggled with runners in scoring position in last night's ball game, but at least at that point, they were able to get the run they needed to eventually win the game. Well, today the Phillies are going to try to win the series, and Jerome Williams in 2 starts has been kind of a breath of fresh air. He's so unassuming and so appreciative of these continued opportunities.
Yes. New team, newfound confidence with an old fastball and a new catcher. And I think, we read the articles last week, watched Jerome pitch. He's really kind of refound his sinker, and he has gained a lot of confidence in his secondary pitches. But most importantly, I think he's kind of fallen in love with Carlos Ruiz and how he calls games. Now today, Will Nieves will be behind the plate, a new catcher. But again, the new confidence he has, he's really attacking the ball. He had 5 first pitch outs in his previous outing, 8 ground balls, really worked quick. His tempo was upbeat, and I think that's really where he's found his new effectiveness.
Yeah, you talk about tempo. It really was upbeat in game 1 against the Angels, and then in game number 2, his first one here at Citizens Bank Park. All right, so the Phils go for another series victory here at Citizens Bank Park. Justin Masterson making his 5th start in the National League. He's over from the Cleveland Indians, and of course Jerome Williams making his 3rd start in a Phillies uniform. There were other key plays in last night's ballgame. This one was as well. Freddie Galvis almost got across the plate, but A.J. Brzezinski was able to tag him out. And then Matt Holliday on that ball from Ben Revere. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. The annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser, here's to Budweiser, here's to baseball. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. although it is an indication that school is right around the corner. It's the gym bag giveaway sponsored by ShopRite. And the youngsters coming to the ballpark today, they're getting all ready for the first day of school. It's a great one to put your books, to put your gym clothes, put everything else that you need to get ready for your school season, your fall athletic season. It is a great giveaway, and that's what the youngsters received as they came through the gates this afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park. And some very lucky youngsters were part of today's starting 9 out on the field to meet their favorite Philly or to meet the newest Philly, in this case Jerome Williams. Starting pitcher of the game, who, as we said, is as likable a fellow as you're going to meet, getting a chance to engage with the youngster out on the mound. And Jerome Williams now warming up on a beautiful day here in South Philadelphia. Blue skies, plenty of sunshine. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cardinals, brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Carpenter, Wong, and Holiday, followed by Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, and John Jay, who's been all over the lineup for the Cardinals. And the bottom third of Tavares, Tony Cruz back behind the plate, and Justin Masterson. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Jerome Williams, making his 3rd start overall in the Phillies uniform. 1-0 so far for the Phils and a 2.19 ERA. This year he's 3-5 with a 5.91 earned run average. Well, Jamie, he seems to have liked his new surroundings so far.
He sure has, and I think we talked in the open about newfound team, newfound fastball, newfound location, new catchers, and a new life here in the National League. And Jerome Williams has brought some excitement, I think, to himself, to the ball club. 4-pitch pitcher, fastball, curveball, cutter, changeup, using all of those pitches effectively, but has found a way to locate his fastball.
That's all part of our Budweiser scouting report for this afternoon's ball game. Matt Carpenter will lead things off for the Cardinals. He was essentially the hero last night, the ultimate hero, with the sacrifice fly in the 12th inning. Now that gave the Cardinals the lead. And they went on a hang on. So he'll lead things off. And the first pitch is outside. We're underway.
Well, Tom, it's really interesting that right-handed hitters are hitting .053 against Jerome Williams, and lefties are hitting .304.
You got any theory on that?
You know, not yet. I haven't seen him enough, but you know, I just think, you know, it tells me the right-handers are struggling with his fastball, that he's locating it well. The left-handers are getting a better look at it.
2 balls and 1 strike to Carpenter. Yeah, that one just misses. 3-1. And there's ball 4. So Carpenter draws a walk. All right, guys, it's time now for our Nissan keys to this afternoon's ball game. Quick turnaround today.
Well, my first key is Williams to have good quick tempo and good location. If he maintains that, I think we're going to have a nice game here today from Jerome.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Mike.
My key is leadership. Today is one of those days, like a while back we had that Sunday game after that long, what was it, 14-inning game the night before. We had 2 really tough games against the Mets. And coming into the park today, the Cardinals are coming off of a win last night, has momentum, good attitude, playing to be in the postseason. Phillies clubhouse a little bit the opposite. So they need leadership. They need to go out on the field today, play hard, play the game the way it's supposed to be played, entertain the crowd with some good baseball, and they need the veteran players in there, the veteran players to spread that kind of word around. You know.
Well, they've had a lot of these opportunities with all the extra inning games they've played. And those veterans are in the lineup today. Marlon Byrd's the only one who's not in, but he is subbed out for a veteran in Grady Sizemore.
And when the Phillies win today, they could win another series.
That's exactly right. There's Sizemore in right field. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wong. And he popped it up. Foul territory. This may find the seats. Nieves will give it a look. And it's out of play.
Leadership's a really interesting thing to me. I can't say that I was one of the great leaders. I think I had some leadership qualities when I played. But when I think back, you said, Mike, who are the leaders over your career. And I mean, the names pop right into my brain. And I think Gary Matthews, your good friend, who referenced you as Tim on his ice bucket challenge, by the way.
I heard that. It's not the first time.
P. Rose, of course. I think Larry Boa had some good leadership qualities, even though sometimes he made me awful mad. Maybe that was his technique. And you know, when I left, I remember Darren Dalton surfacing as a great leader for the Phillies. So baseball needs people like that. Good teams have guys that are leaders.
That ball's deflected. Rollins steps on the bag, throws, not in time. So they do get the lead runner. 6 unassisted.
There go the Cardinals up the middle again, guys. You know, those ground balls and line drives up the middle. That ball probably would have been, had he not deflected, it probably have been a very routine double play. Maybe to Utley coming across the bag. But sometimes those pitcher deflections change the plays.
We've tried to talk Jamie into stopping deflecting those balls, Mike, but he says it's a natural reaction.
Oh, yeah. Well, if it's not really hit hard, you can, and you know that this is going to be at the second baseman, you can just pull your hand back at the last second.
Yeah, it's hard to do, though. You're trained that, you know, when the ball comes towards you, to attempt to catch it, hopefully using your glove, not your bare hand.
Well, here's Matt Holliday, 12 home runs, 65 runs batted in. He drove it a couple runs in game 1 of this series. Cardinals gained a game last night on the Milwaukee Brewers, who have lost 2 straight to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So St. Louis is just a half game out of first place in the Central. Still with 7 games left against the Brewers before the end of the year. Which is why Mike Matheny started Wainwright on Friday night. He's trying to set him up to face the Pirates and the Brewers every single series. The Cardinals face one of their Central Division foes. 2 balls and 1 strike to Holliday.
So you can see we have the perfect visual up here, Jamie and Tom, why he is tough on right-handed hitters. He's run 2 fastballs in under the hands of Holliday in the first 3 pitches. I mean, those things had some run on them inside, and it looks like he's very comfortable pitching inside. Not talking about chin music or anything like that, but it looks like he's very comfortable pitching inside.
2-2,
which sets that up, right?
Exactly.
Think of the first 2 starts that we've seen in a Phillies uniform. His pitches have been down too, which obviously has helped him out.
He probably would qualify as one of those guys that needs to be down.
And he gets Holliday on strikes, 2 outs.
And look right there that he was looking for that ball in based on that swing. His heart was into it, but something else wasn't.
It's a good pitch. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory at 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Frank was trying to sell Mike and Jamie on the ice cream today, but they weren't biting this afternoon.
I opted for the cake donuts.
And I'm just taking a day off for the ice cream.
That's right.
All of a sudden, 7 o'clock tonight, Jamie's going to be thinking, man, I could use some butter pecan or some Grand Slam. On the outside corner, 0-1. Adams in this series has a couple hits. He's also walked a few times. No balls, 1 strike. That'll slice out of play. And it's 0-2. Jamie, I meant to tell you the other day, we were talking about Slippery Rock. He is the 3rd graduate or player from Slippery Rock to make it to the big leagues. The other 2 were back in the early 1900s.
Wow.
No balls and 2 strikes. There goes the runner. Pitch is hit off the end of the bat toward third. Ashe still has time. It's a good play considering where he was with the shift. No runs, no hits. 1 man left for the Cardinals. On to the bottom of the first inning. Baseball is a game for kids. Today there's a lot of them getting a chance to enjoy some ball. Bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It'll be Ben Revere, Jimmy Rollins, and Chase Utley. Ryan Howard is the cleanup hitter again. Grady Sizemore, as we mentioned, is in right field today. He'll bat 5th. Dominic Brown will hit 6th. And the bottom third of Nieves, Ashe, and Jerome Williams. They will face right-hander Justin Masterson. He's a big guy, 6'6", 250 pounds. He's been so-so for the Cardinals since he was acquired from the Indians. He was acquired along with around the same time John Lackey was acquired from the Red Sox. Jamie, one thing we know is that when he's on, his ball has a lot of movement to it.
Yeah, you know, when he pitched in the American League, he really relied on his slider. And numbers in the National League look like batting average against, it's .099. But we're looking here at right-handed hitters are hitting .313 off of him, and left-handers are hitting .250, which is kind of odd for me. So I'm thinking he's throwing a lot more sinkers. He's facing a lot of left-handed hitters. He's throwing a lot of sinkers, and it's having a lot of validity, and he's kind of gotten away from the slider to the right-hander.
Well, Ben Revere will lead things off. It was an odd hitless night last night for Revere. 3 for 9 in the series. Two balls and no strikes.
But Masterson is a fastball, slider, changeup guy, or sinker, slider, changeup. 3-pitch pitcher.
He's a big fella too. Kind of looks like Brad Penny to a certain extent. I mean, 6'6", 250 pounds. Revere takes a strike. It's 3-1.
Now here's what I'd like to see Ben take again. He's only thrown 1 strike. There you go.
Yep, works out the walk. Something that he hasn't done often this year, but now he's a base runner and a threat. It's his first walk. I'm going to blow your mind, Mike. It's his first walk since the 5th of July.
Number 11?
Number 11 on the year. He's had a great year. That's such a surprising note to throw out there, though, that he hasn't walked since the 5th of July. And here's Rollins. And the first pitch is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Rollins 2 for 8 in the series and 5 for 16 on the homestand. His average at 238. Ball gets away, and Revere's going to get to second. Second time in this series that Revere has moved up to second base on a wild pitch.
Well, Mike, last night you talked about how effective a walk can be.
Yeah.
Right here, we just see how effective it can be. A walk, a slider in the dirt, man on second base.
Most underrated offensive play happening in the game is the walk, in my mind.
Rollins trying to bunt him over to third and maybe sneak a hit out of it. And it's 1-2.
Tom,
I actually like seeing that.
Tom, you referred to Masterson, his features. I think he looks like a lot like Todd Worrell. Doesn't pitch like him,
yeah,
but he looks, the size-wise, he looks a lot like Todd Worrell.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
Boy, Jamie, that goes way back. Todd Worrell.
Well, I've had a brief stint of playing in the Cardinals organization, and Todd was a teammate, and Todd was a big guy, and so is, as Tom alluded, so is Masterson.
But Jimmy's spot in the batting order, should Ben continue his great play and, you know, end up our starting center fielder next year and continue to contend for batting titles, Jimmy's spot in the batting order becomes very important.
To get him over to third.
Just keep, you know, moving him around. Tough at bats. He'll have, you know, Ben on first base, chance to steal. He's going to have to work long counts. He's going to, you know, become a two-hole hitter.
Now, do you think that's why his walks are up a little bit this year? Because he's given Revere a little extra time to steal bases? You know, you mentioned last night he's in the top 10 in walks. Although he was walking even before Ben started his hot hitting.
Well, that's still only like 58, right?
Yes.
58 walks. That's not a number of a high number of walks to, you know, to brag about. I mean, at the end of the year, if it's 75, you know, 75, 80, yeah, his on base percentage will probably climb into the 360, 370 range, which is pretty respectable these days.
Chase just 2 for 21 on the homestand. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
We briefly talked about Masterson's effectiveness to left-handers. I think you just saw that there with Jimmy Rollins. That last pitch he threw was a sinker, but it looked like he took a little bit off, almost like a BP fastball, and the ball really ran down and off the plate, and Jimmy chased it.
Cardinals acquired Masterson from the Indians. He was just coming off the disabled list with a bad knee. Very popular teammate in Cleveland. In fact, his Indians teammates, the day after he was traded, wore their pants the way he wears his pants right now in honor of him. Not Jamie Moyer-like, but close. No sannies and stirrups.
I think that's what gives you the Brad Penny comparison.
I
the
think
way he wears his uniform.
That could be. John Jay has more of the Jamie Moyer look going. Outside, 3-1. Howard's on deck.
See, I wouldn't change my look if we had won the night before. That's what I don't understand, how these guys win the game the night before, how they'll all change their look on the field. I mean, you got to go with the same outfit, don't you?
Most people would. Ooh, man. Chase was a little upset about the strike zone late in last night's game.
Whoa, Jamie, there's the high strike.
Yep.
I thought it was off the plate.
I would agree with you, Tom. I did. It was height-wise, I thought it was okay, but
there's a line drive, base hit into center field. That'll make him feel a little bit better. Revere will score. It's 1-0 Phillies on top.
I look like a 3-2 kind of backdoor breaking ball. Boom. Chase coming off of a bad call. I guess we're glad he called that pitch a strike, right?
Yeah, he didn't have a chance last night.
But that guy that walked for the 11th time this year scores easily. Now the Cardinals need 2 runs to go ahead in this game.
57th run scored for Revere. So now Ryan Howard. Howard has 3 RBIs in this series so far. Peralta is shading him toward the middle. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Fouled off the foot of Howard to run the count 0-2. Ryan Howard went the opposite way last night for his 19th home run of the year.
That ball runs away and Ryan just stays with it, gets it up in the air, and it carries out over the flower box.
Went right into his trot. He must know this ballpark.
Another one off his foot. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Stan Swala of Wayne. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Stan will win $100. Ryan Howard just said, "Oh, no, no, no," as he's down looking for the 2nd out.
Well, it looks like we might have a big strike zone today. It's a lot like the Chase Utley pitch last night. Coming from a former hitter that took a lot of those, you hope the umpire's thinking like you in that situation, and it gives you the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes there's probably no truer axiom in baseball. The old, if it's close enough to call, it's close enough to swing at. You know, someone will tell you, hey, you can't put it in the hands of the umpire.
Probably heard that your entire life, even when you were younger.
Well, there's nothing. It's about as true as anything can be. You just hate to have to hear it.
1 ball and no strikes to Sizemore, hitting .292, a home run, 7 runs batted in.
Doing some research on Masterson, about 76% of the time he's going to throw a fastball.
He's got an awkward release. One of those releases that kind of guy, man, I tell you, that kind of hurts to watch.
Real long. His arms are real long.
Like he leads with his elbow.
Gets a lot of whip.
Without knowing the numbers, a guy like this, would he be easier to run on because he's got such a long arm?
Well, for me, it's how quick are his feet, and does he get his hand out of his glove? You really can't go anywhere until you get your hand out of your glove. So if he gets his hand out of his glove and he's got a slide step, I still think he can be fairly quick to the plate.
We're getting to a good running counts here. Two strikes, 2 outs. Geez, the guys are pounding it off their feet. Somebody needs to invent some shoes in baseball, like steel worker shoes or something. Spikes that are hard on top,
but not heavy.
Yeah, and comfortable.
Well, maybe make a shoe that's full of padding. Just that's something that.
My toes look awful from pounding balls off.
Jamie, I think we found your off-season projects. Utley still at first base, 2 outs, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sizemore. out toward left field. Holiday toward the line. Phillies settle for the 1 run on the RBI single by Chase Utley. And that brought home Ben Revere. Look at that youngster. Gets a baseball. Getting to soak in a ball game. Getting a souvenir. Getting to see Chase Utley with a base hit to center field to score Ben Revere. Time to wake up there at Citizens Bank Park. Monday, September 8th. It's the start of a 4-game series here at Citizens Bank Park. Tickets are available for each of those games, all 4 at 7:05. Cholesterol Awareness Night presented by AstraZeneca on Wednesday, September 10th. Johnny Peralta will lead things off as we go to the 2nd inning. First pitch is down and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Peralta homered in last night's game. Or I should say the game 2 nights ago. No, last night's game. Outside, 2-0. Oh, he went around. So 1 ball, 1 strike, says Dan Bellino, the first base umpire.
Jamie, I really like his delivery, Williams. It is smooth. And he, to me, looks like a guy that could pitch forever. You know, he releases it relaxed.
Big, strong kid.
Yeah.
And it looks very repeatable.
Ashley just kicked that ball, and Peralta will be safe at first. So a base runner for the Cardinals. John Jay is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, you started the program today, Tom, asking if everyone was well rested, and that's because another extra inning game for the Phils last night, their 18th of the season. But get this, a couple of oddities about that game. 8 of those 18 games in extra innings, it has come a night before a day game, and 5 of the last 7 extra inning games have been a night game before a day game. And the last 4 Saturdays here at Citizens Bank Park, the last 4 Saturday home games, all of them have gone into extra innings, and all of them obviously before a Sunday day game. So quick turnarounds have been the norm for the Phils, and hopefully they can have the quick turnaround today and get a victory and win this series over the Cardinals, guys.
See, Mike, if you had been here on Saturdays in the previous 3, you would have gotten to experience some more extra inning games.
Yes. I get to bed at 1 last night. It felt like old times, my career, a totally different lifestyle. But I did wake up at 6.
Back toward the middle. That'll get into center field, a base hit. It'll be the first hit of the day for the Cardinals. Peralta reached on the error by Ashe.
Cardinals ground ball up the middle again. There it is.
And for Jay, he's now hitting 13 of his last 14. Or I should say 14 of his last 15. And Oscar Taveras will be the hitter. See what Tavares has done over the last 5 games. Guy that the folks around baseball consider one of the top 5 prospects in all of baseball, and the top prospect in the Cardinals organization. On that fastball for Jerome Williams. Jerome spent most of the year out of the bullpen for the Astros. 26 games out of the pen for Houston. To center field. Peralta's going to tag from second. Revere under it, makes the catch, and just draws the throw.
My comment on that would be very poor base running by Peralta on second base. In fact, Ben Revere was conceding third base. Would you agree with that, Jamie?
I would.
He was conceding third base, throwing the ball into second.
Try to keep the double play in order.
You know, right now the third base coach has got to be screaming, "Come on!" And just didn't feel like it.
Well, you know, we've been asked a lot about Ben's arm strength. We were asked the other night. Jamie and I did a dinner in the executive dining room with some of our season ticket holders. They asked, will Ben's arm strength improve? He seems to be a guy that, and you guys probably have seen other players where the scouting report says, all right, if it's hit to him, you are okay to take a chance to take that extra base because of his arm strength, or in a situation like that to tag and then go to third, or tag at third to go home, that type of thing.
Well, I would think Mike Matheny, we were talking about him in the office earlier today, wouldn't be very happy with that base running right there.
No balls, 1 strike to Tony Cruz. Runners on first and second. Chopper softly to third. As she's got to play at first in time. Two outs. Masterson coming up against Jerome Williams. He is part of our Geico quota today. Jerome is on his improvement with the Phillies. Obviously, my game plan wasn't really working early in the year. That's why I'm on my 3rd team. So we're just using the same weapons that I have, but just moving the ball everywhere and anywhere. Fairly honest assessment of himself.
Very honest.
Apparently he's a character.
Yeah. He is.
He's given Carlos a lot of credit for having confidence in the pitches that he features and his creativity in how to use them.
Well, he's one of those guys, and we talked about this during his first start. The day he pitches, he's not going to huddle into the corner and be by himself. He's out there for a conversation to be had if you want to have a conversation with a starting pitcher. Oh, and 2 to Masterson. Working from the windup with runners on second and third. Swing and a miss. And Williams works around those 2 leadoff base runners to pick up his 2nd strikeout and leave 2 in scoring position. Middle of the 2nd. Phillies up 1-0. sweepstakes. 2 seats are up for grabs, and all you have to do is answer this week's question. What's your favorite football rivalry? Then fill out the entry form at PhiladelphiaEagles.com/CSN Philly. Entry deadline is September 2nd. Phillies fans are tailgating inside the Eagles bus. It's a multi-purpose vehicle. And it's one heck of a recreational vehicle. Go to the bottom of the second. Phillies up 1-0. It'll be Dominic Brown, Will Nieves, and Cody Ashe. They will face Justin Masterson. Dominic had a very interesting night last night for the Phillies. We talked about the ball that dropped in front of him and then the eventual throw to third that got away from Cody Ashe. Ryan Sandberg said after the ball game that was essentially said that was not a good play. Dominic overall in this series 1 for 6, and he takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Line drive, base hit it to left field. Dominic had a base hit to left center last night. So he's aboard to start the second. Well, this is the play we were talking about last night. Said it was a little wet, and then he hesitated for a moment before firing low to Ashe. This is what Dominic said after the ball game on struggling to pick up fly balls. I'm not out there every day, so it's kind of tough coming off the bench. I'm doing the best I can out there. I'm trying to catch every ball, and if I can't catch it, it's going to fall. But I'm definitely going out there playing as hard as possible. He went on to say, usually if a play like that happens, I'm going to be taken out, but that is part of the game. Rhino's doing the best job he can with the outfielders, just trying to get us all playing time. Well, which is true. He is trying to get them all playing time, and it is true that his effort is, as Rhino said last night, he is always putting in the hard work, but he does seem to be playing almost every day.
Seems like it to me. It was just a nice base hit he got to the opposite field right there. That was a lot. That was, you know, there was a lot said right there. There was a lot of little bites you could take out of that. Apparently, coming off the bench was the bite that it's hard coming off the bench, and relate that to why a ball dropped in front of him or something. But I think the manager's viewpoint on that, our managers, is simply, I can't be worried about some of those things the kids, my players are saying to the media. It's just not a priority for me. I think that's Rhino's position.
Yeah, I guess you have to sort of filter a lot of that out if you're the manager of a ball club, because things will be said sort of in the heat of the moment. As Nieves serves that one to right, caught by by Tavares, and Brown gets back. There's one away.
I would agree that based upon the expectations that we have for Dominic this year, based on last year's performance, that he's underachieving, underperforming as a player, and I think that he has gotten very sufficient playing time this year based upon his performance on the field. I think he should agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I think too that whether you're getting part-time playing time or full-time playing time, your effort needs to be there all the time, and you can't. I'm not saying he's making excuses. Sometimes you got to lay out for a ball. An effort. All right, the ball drops in front of him, but he catches it, and then he kind of threw that ball, I thought, flat-footed.
Correct.
That ball you got to catch athletically and then make an athletic throw. Because that whole play is in front of him.
Yeah, man on second, too, when that ball was hit, right? So if you're anticipating a ball like that, possibly in your mind before it happens, that if you're, I'm not going to catch it, but the runner on base surely thinks that I'm going to and can't be too far off the bag. So, I'll give him a good decoy and I'll fire to third base.
Cody Ashe with the ball to right field. That'll send Brown over to third. So first and third with one out, with Jerome Williams coming up. It's a Pretty nice swing right there by Ashe.
Yeah, he just continues to learn, continues to get better. Watch his swing from the side. Boom, see his head down. Very nice stroke. But back to Dominic. If you're thinking ahead a little bit, if you're anticipating what might happen if the ball's hit to me, you got. And also, Jamie, if I were an outfielder, I'll tell you what, I would love an assist. Anytime I could get an assist. Yeah. Remember, you're a young kid, and you were playing ball, and you're in the outfield. What could be better than a ball hit to you with a man in scoring position? I get a chance to show off, my aggressiveness and my arm. I want to throw somebody out. I just don't want to lob it back into the infield.
It's just a part of your game.
Yeah, well,
you can take advantage of it. And he does have a very good arm, too. One ball and no strikes to Williams. Carpenter holding at third. Now he comes charging in. And the ball bunted to the right side. Beautiful bunt. Safety squeeze. 2-0 Phillies. There were a lot of good things that happened there, including Dominic when he was coming down the third base line with Matt Carpenter, going as far as Carpenter before he made the decision to come home.
Well, that's a play that's taught with base runners. You follow the third baseman down the line, you can go as far as he can. And Dominic did a great job of that, but credit Jerome Williams with a fantastic bunt right there to give the Phillies a 2-0 lead.
I would say the third baseman made the wrong play by going in that far. The third baseman has to kind of jockey back to third base a little bit to keep the runner from having that liberty to go all the way down the baseline like he did. You need to kind of take a step in, step back, step in, fake back, so the runner will jump back a little bit so that he can't score as easily as he did on that. But if you keep him close to third base, they might have been able to stop the run from scoring.
Yeah, he's just trotting in at that point. You got to kind of sell it a little bit.
Yeah, and if they do bunt it to you at third base, you just run in and get it and turn immediately to the runner. Jockey him back to third and throw to first.
That is a foul ball for Revere. 0-2 to Ben.
Plays like that take on sort of a life of their own. It's easy to sit up here and talk about how it should work on the chalkboard perfectly, but they have a life of their own, and when it's executed so perfectly by the batter, sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
That's true. Way outside, 1-2 to Revere. Walked and scored the first run.
Or defensively, if you get fancy and you try to do something fancy and you don't get any outs, then it potentially opens it up to a big inning. So they took the sure out, which would be the second out, gave up a run, and they get a man on second, 2 outs.
And a loop out to left. Holiday coming on. He's not going to get there. Ashe will score easily. It's 3-0 Phillies. RBI single for Revere.
I thought maybe we jinxed him a little bit with that opening last night and all that talk about Ben. I believe he went 0 for 5 last night, and of course we have the base on balls today, and he hit a couple balls hard last night, so he deserves a little bloop single.
Holiday smothered that with his body.
And this is an area where the Phillies have struggled this year, where they get a run, they get another guy in scoring position, they're not able to get him in. Today they get him in, gives Jerome Williams a 3-0 lead here early in the game.
Rollins struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1.
Now, do you extend this at bat if you're Jimmy and give Ben a chance to run with 2 outs?
There he goes. Pitches inside. The throw sails into center field. And Ben just pops on up. And he'll go to third. Stolen base number 38 for Ben Revere.
Kind of like that, Mike?
Yeah, I was just watching Ben. We didn't say anything. I was what? Ben always looks like he's in pain. I've never seen a guy that's in so much pain and playing so well.
He's the Mickey Rivers of this generation.
There you go. Good call.
Mickey Rivers, the outfielder for the Yankees, the Rangers, among other teams, always looked like his feet hurt, and then he'd swipe a bag or two.
Jimmy could drop that bunt right down the third baseline right now with 2 outs and get a single and an RBI as he wants to.
Yeah, Carpenter is way back and over.
Like he could take it either way.
First base.
He could take it either way.
Wow.
Looks so inviting, doesn't it?
Sure does. To the right side, Adams is able to circle it. The Phillies settle for the 2. They get a couple runs on 3 hits. They executed very well in this inning. We played 2. We'll go to the 3rd here at Philadelphia with the Phillies on top, 3-0.
Series against the Cardinals, a series with the Washington Nationals as they come in for 3 games, all those games at 7:05 Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And guys, happy to announce that it'll be a special night here at the ballpark on Wednesday because the Taney Dragons will be here in town. Log on to Phillies.com/Taney for all the information. I can tell you that a T-shirt will be given out that night, and the team will be honored out on the field. The entire roster of the Taney Dragons out here on the field, so it should be a great night at Citizens Bank Park, guys.
Should be a great evening.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see the kids there. I mean, the championship is taking place today. There's Monet on the cover of Sports Illustrated. There's a lot of championships that are going on around the Delaware Valley. A lot of amateur championships, including Brooklawn American Legion winning the American Legion title for the 2nd straight year. Very storied program over in South Jersey. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out toward left field, Dominic Brown is there. He's under it, makes the catch, and there's one away. Also want to say congratulations out to the Broomall Newtown Babe Ruth program. The 13-year-olds, they won the World Series championship, and the older kids were in the championship as well. You talk about a program, to be able to be that successful on 2 different levels of Babe Ruth baseball nationally, it says an awful lot.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Swing and a miss to Colton Wong.
Kind of like what we're seeing here from Jerome Williams. A lot of his success, I believe, in now these 2 games I've seen him throw, he's ahead in the count. First pitch strikes.
Little floater out towards second. Utley is there. 2 outs.
That one got in on him a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
9 first pitch strikes today out of 11 hitters. Makes a big difference. And you're not throwing as many pitches.
I mean, he's obviously tinkered with some things, the way he's moving the ball around, as that quote mentioned. I guess there's also a point where, as he said, it's my 3rd team in 1 year, that he figured there had to be some kind of change that he had to make if he wanted to stick with this particular team.
Well, the thing that I respect about it, he's taking it on himself. He's not pointing fingers at anybody else other than himself and saying, he's acknowledging, I need to make the adjustment here. And that's what he's been able to do.
1 ball, 1 strike to Holiday. Ashe comes charging in from the infield grass.
That's what you call a shutdown.
That is a shutting the door, the window, and everything else in the house. Bottom of the 3rd, Phillies lead it 3-0 over the Cardinals. A question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, who is the Cardinals' all-time saves leader? The Cardinals' all-time saves leader. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Last of the 3rd inning. Phillies up 3-0. Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Grady Sizemore will be the hitters against Justin Masterson. We may lose the guys for a couple minutes here as they come up with the decision on who the all-time saves leader is in Cardinals history. One of the names they wrote down is in the stadium today. Al Rabaska, the mad Hungarian.
Remember, I used to stand behind the mound and then turn.
Oh yeah, what an act! There he is. See, he looks kind of mean right there. He's a nice fella. Utley pulls it to second base. To one knee is Wong. So 1 out. And Ryan Howard is coming up. Yeah, Al had a whole laugh going on the mound. Did he throw hard?
Yeah. Like Jamie referenced yesterday, one of those guys that could get you to pop up on the high fastball. Just got on top of it, had a little rise.
Yeah, because Masterson's 6'6". Al's less than 6 feet tall, or maybe around there. But he looked like he could throw hard. No balls and 1 strike to Howard. Overshift on for Ryan.
You know, I'm going to write another name down.
Okay.
Here.
You're allowed.
I will tell you that the 3 that you wrote down before were incorrect. And now the 4th one, I have to tell you that you're incorrect with that one too.
I am 0 for 4.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
0 for 4.
I've been there, done that.
2 of those would have been my choices.
Yeah. Honestly, the one you just wrote down, Todd Worrell, I guess I can tell people which one you wrote down. That would have been my choice. Now, I have seen the answer, and I went, Didn't realize he was around for that long with the Cardinals to save that many games.
I'm trying to think in the save, in the closer era.
Right.
Who else it could have been?
I'll tell you that this guy only stopped playing a couple years ago.
Oh.
So.
Last one.
Uh-oh, Jamie's got his pencil out.
Yes.
There's ball 4, so Howard draws a walk. And he's on base. Phillies baseball is brought to you by McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Well, this is as perfect a day weather-wise as you're going to find. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous outside. A little bit of a breeze. It's going to get hot here in the Delaware Valley in the next day or so. Sizemore tried to check. They'll appeal, and Brian O'Nora says he went around.
Little breeze from the northeast.
Northeast, yeah.
Ballpark might play a little large today.
Down it in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brown waits on deck. Sizemore is 0 for 7 against his former teammate. Or I should say 0 for 8 after his fly out his first time up.
I don't like the positioning of the first baseman. Get a look at that, Matt Adams. He's not holding Howard on because, as we know, Ryan's not a threat to steal. However, I can understand why he's playing in front of Howard, especially with 2 strikes on the batter now. Wouldn't he back up 15 feet?
Give himself a little extra room. Yeah, where he's playing now, not that Ryan's fleet of foot, but Ryan's extending his lead toward him, so he's probably got a larger lead now than what he would normally have. By the way, you just saw the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Reds have jumped out to a 3-zip lead over the Braves. And there's a line drive toward the alley in right center field.
Watch Howard run.
Yeah, he is trying, heading to third, and he'll hold up there. Tavares cut it off. It'll be a double for Sizemore, second and third with 1 out. 9th double for Sizemore in a Phil's uniform.
He's played well for the Phillies. Really like him as a player. The ball was on the outer third of the plate, but up a little bit, Jamie, and needed the bat on the ball. It's good hitting.
And he hits so many balls hard. When he makes contact, there's a different sound to the ball.
Well, now Dominic Brown, who singled to left his first time up. The Cardinals play the infield in. Phillies have executed here today, and see if they can execute again and get this run home.
Good pitch to hit right there.
Bullpen action already for the Cardinals. Nick Greenwood. No balls, 2 strikes to Dominic Brown. Try to check his swing. Did he go? No, says Brian Onora.
Wow, and it's close in this day and age. They call that a
really
strike
close.
a lot. Wow, yeah, he got away with one right there. Now, in my time, in our time, that was definitely a ball. I mean, they wouldn't call it. But nowadays, ooh, I've seen some short check swings be called strikes.
It didn't look like it was easy either to hold up. Did it again, and it's 2-2.
Took a play here like last night we talked about it. Stay on the ground, up the middle, just get one in. If you get 2, great. One's all we want, right?
Well, you can see they're trying to elevate the ball here to pop him up. Now I have a feeling they're going to go back down, soft away. In.
Dominic is struck out for the 2nd out and the 3rd strikeout for Masterson. Here's to Budweiser, and here's to baseball. A beautiful Sunday afternoon. Citizens Bank Park. Still 3 games left on this homestand. The Nationals are coming to town tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Who are the Phillies seeing pitching-wise?
That's a good question. Roark, Tanner Roark, 12 wins for the Nationals. Gio Gonzalez and Doug Fister. In tight, 1-0. No Strasburg, no Jordan Zimmerman. Nationals lead is at 7 in the division. And that one gets away. Here comes Howard. And he's going to score standing. 4-0 Phillies. Second wild pitch of the ball game for Masterson. Well, they got at least one home.
Boy, that'd kill a manager. Managers hate this. Hate the wild pitch with 2 outs, man in scoring position.
And a wild pitch with a fastball.
Yeah.
It's a little odd.
Particularly from a guy like Matheny, who was one of the best defensive catchers of his time. And a check swing. Fair ball down the right field line. A run is in. Nieves will stop at first. It's an RBI single. 5-0 Phillies.
The old check swing.
It's like, I don't want to. Okay. And he had a view of it, too, to see that it wasn't going to slice. At least slice foul. Well, Will, with that hit, is now 6 for his last 10 as a starter. About a foot or so.
This game's taken on the personality that the Phillies needed to take today, with the short bullpen, getting a good outing from Williams, and put big runs on the board and coast through a game. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but it's sure they got that kind of a start.
Well, we mentioned during the outset of this homestand or the series that they have played better here at home, and that's good to see too. Keep winning these series at home as time is winding down. No balls and 2 strikes to Ashe. There's Jerome on deck. Foul territory. Matt Carpenter. Well, the breeze was taking hold of that one, but he was able to track it. And the side is retired. 2-run score in the inning on 2 base hits. 1 man left for the Phils. Cotton Candy goes down a little easier on a day like this. 5-0. We go to the 4th. Day. Order by 11:30 and get the reliable power and performance of Duracell delivered to your office that afternoon. WB Mason and Duracell, trusted everywhere. Oh, congratulations to Joe and Anna, just married, celebrating their honeymoon. Those 2 guys look a little lost roaming around Ashburn Alley. Looks like they had too many sweets today. We go to the top of the 4th inning.
Cliff and Chase.
Yeah. On a breezy day. Matt Adams will lead things off. Adams grounded out to 3rd his first time up. Adams came in 3rd in the league in hitting with a .308 batting average. Breaking ball in there. It's 0-1. So earlier this year, Matt Adams was in the top 10 most shifted players in baseball. You know, somebody keeps these numbers, these percentages. Now they're shifting here. They have 3 infielders in the right side of the diamond. He actually got as high as the 7th most shifted player. And he tried to lay down a couple of bunts to change that shift. And he realized that it's not going to work. So he kind of adjusted a little bit of his approach and started hitting the ball the other way a little bit. And now all of a sudden he's down, no longer in the top 10, but he's the 13th most shifted player because they feel like he's adjusted a little bit more. Now there was no adjustment there. But I think it's interesting that in this day and age people are following who's being shifted more than others. And they're following whether guys are affected by it and can adjust through the shifts. Wow.
Really?
They are.
I think a lot of it's based off of how you're being pitched.
Well, that's true too.
It's adjusting to how you're being pitched, not necessarily shift.
And Peralta takes low, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, and as time goes on, I think the shifting of the defense is going to reduce, offense in baseball. I mean, it's on a.
The wind seemed like it got a hold of that one, and Ben couldn't come up with it. And Peralta will pull into 2nd with a 1-out double.
Yeah, I think Ben would be the first to say he caught that ball. It looked like he probably read deep line drive off the bat, hit solid, and then probably was hit down on the end a little bit. And when it got out, like you say, into that northeast wind we talked about, kind of took a little dive real quick to the ground. Almost caught it.
Just didn't have control on the top of that glove.
Back to that shift point, I think it will also play a part in reducing offensive baseball as time goes on.
Foul tip by Jay. It's 0-1. You don't really read too much, though, about guys adjusting to try to change the shift a little bit. And, some, I guess, feel like they are what they are as far as hitters go.
I think Ryan Howard has actually has had the shift affect his approach to hitting. I do. I think Ryan Howard has very much become an inside-out left center field, left field hitter, even though most of his balls that go that way go up in the air. Go high and not on the line and not on the ground. And on the other side of the coin, going the other way, a lot of times it's more of a hooked topspin line drive or rollover ground ball. I haven't seen Ryan in a while really turn on a fastball, and hit one a long way toward the AT&T sign. I think he's generally inside outing fastballs. Is that a product of the shift? Is another question. I don't think he's been hitting into the shift as much in the last month as he was early on. You see him every day. I'd be interested in your reaction to that.
Well, most of his home runs are to center and left.
Right.
You're right. He might have one ball that he's pulled home run wise into the seats in right field, depending on where you think a pulled ball should be. It could be considered just to the right of center, a pulled home run, or but yeah, it very well could. Second walk issued by Williams. And now Tavares is the hitter. He fly to center his first time up. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Toward first, that's a foul ball, and it's even now 1-1.
I wish we could have done that when I played.
Flip the ball into the stands.
Ball into the stands.
Made somebody's
love
day.
He usually kept the ball in play. Right? Went back to the
Yeah,
pitcher and he
definitely
threw another pitch.
So what are you doing throwing that ball away? The pitcher wants it back.
And that's a base hit to right field. Rounding third, heading for home is Peralta. He's going to score. And now it's a 5-1 ball game. An RBI single by Tavares. The runners remain at first and second here in the fourth.
I don't want to get too critical once again there. I think that they were conceding the runner on first going to third and threw the ball into the cutoff man.
And Jay stopped at second.
Watch this runner here. They were conceding the runner going to third, and he decided to stop at second. Now, his coach could have said, we're down 4 runs. Don't take any chances. Hold up right there. But I believe he should have been on third.
It's a good call.
So a break for the Phils as they have a run in. Runners on first and second instead of first and third. And Cruz the batter. That one's off the end of the bat. Infield fly roll will be called. Utley calls off Howard. 2 outs. It's a good pitch. As Cruz goes after that first pitch. Phillies fantasy camp is for fans 30 years old or older. It's from January 21st to the 25th, 2015 in Clearwater, Florida. The package includes hotel accommodations, practice with and instruction from guys like the Bull, John Kruk, Mike Lieberthal, Mickey Morandini, Bob Boone, and the commish Larry Anderson. Call 610-520-3400 for more information or visit Phillies.com. Well, the Cardinals are going to go to their bench here, as Greg Garcia will be brought in as a pinch hitter for Masterson. So he's done after 3 innings. Garcia hitting 182. He's only had 2 attempts as a pinch hitter. 1 for 2. The first pitch just a little outside, 1-0. I think Williams wanted that one. It's an early hook for Justin Masterson here.
Well, Matheny probably feels like this is one chance maybe to pick up a couple of runs, and he needs to take advantage of it. Now, considering the length of last night's ball game and the number of pitchers used, that's an interesting move. It's probably didn't like what he saw out there from the big right-hander.
It's true. Yeah, Greenwood and Martinez were the only 2 pitchers not used last night by the Cardinals. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals head to Pittsburgh after this ball game. And a call, strike 3. Great reaction from Will Nieves behind the plate. He knew it. Perfect spot by Jerome Williams to pick up the strikeout. The Cardinals score a run. They get a couple hits. They lead 2. But Williams able to get the final 2 hitters to finish off the top of the 4th. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Delaware Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer. ShopHonda.com. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Budweiser. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Oh, this is a beautiful ballpark, as everybody knows. A day like this, though, it's great to be at the Yard. We wind down the series against the Cardinals. Phillies have a 5-1 lead. Nick Greenwood is the new pitcher for the Cardinals. He'll take over to face Jerome Williams, and then top of the order for the Phillies. Greenwood takes over for Masterson, who allowed 5 runs in 3 innings. He allowed 6 hits. As we mentioned last night, Greenwood was one of 2 pitchers who didn't throw for the Cardinals. He's 2-1, an ERA of 5.33. So Williams will lead it off. He's 0 for 3 this year as a hitter.
You know, last night he was ready to throw, and then one inning we were questioning why Ruff didn't bunt.
Yep.
And I chatted with Larry Boa down at the cage earlier this morning. We were talking about that. And he said, well, they had Greenwood ready. We had 3 left-handers coming up after Ruff, so elected to let Ruff swing the bat.
Yeah, a lot of times it is about the matchups that you project happening.
Mm-hmm.
To the right side, Adams makes the backhanded play. The other thing that Ryan Sandberg said today is that they were hoping for Darren Ruff to hit a gapper if they could, maybe win the ball game. Later on tonight, the Philadelphia Union look to grab 3 more points to get into the Eastern Conference playoff picture. They'll take on San Jose. But the battle begins tonight at 7:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. With 1 out, Ben Revere, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored.
I see Justin Morneau came back. Was it yesterday?
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yep. Still holding on to the top spot in the National League and hitting. He's been really one of the bright spots that the Rockies have had this year. 2 balls and no strikes to Revere.
I think Greenwood won both of those fastballs right there. They were in the top, looked like potentially in the top of the strike zone, and he got neither of those calls.
Well, he gets that one toward the outer edge. It's 2-1. Long to his left. So 2 ground ball outs here in the 4th. And Revere will head back to the dugout.
I think in spring training next year, Ben, a good thing for him to do would be maybe his first 25 or 30 spring training at bats, take up to 2 strikes and get a feel for how good of a 2-strike hitter he could be. You know what I mean? Just stand there and take, and if it's 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, whatever, but don't swing the bat until you get 2 strikes and work on your 2-strike approach, which would free him up to have more confidence with 2 strikes, allowing him to take more pitches because he wouldn't fear 2 strikes as much. And that at bat there, I know it's a 5-1 ball game, but in that particular pitch right there, there's a case where he probably made an out on a ball off the plate down and in on a 2-1 count because he wants to swing the bat. You know,
and that would make him even a better leadoff hitter if he's able to have that kind of approach and is successful with it. One ball and 2 strikes to Rollins. 0 for 2. Called strike 3. Phillies go down in order here in the 4th inning. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout for Nick Greenwood. We've completed 4 innings here at South Philadelphia. The Phillies leading it by 4. All right, guys, the question is, who is the Cardinals' career leader in saves with 217? Now, you guys had some good answers that aren't correct, like Bruce Sutter, Hall of Famer, Todd Worrell, Jamie talked about him before, Al Hrabosky. But the correct answer is, Jamie?
Jason Isringhausen.
Jason Isringhausen is correct with 217, as we mentioned. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack.
I would have never thought of Jason Isringhausen. Now, you two actually came up with that name, so I take no credit.
I didn't think he was around. I mean, I know obviously he was around to close long enough because he had an excellent career. I didn't think he was around for some reason with the Cardinals long enough to get 217 saves. Played for the Mets, the A's, Cardinals, among other teams. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Carpenter. Top 5 in Cardinals history. We forgot about Lee Smith.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
forgot all about Lee Smith.
Well, you know, when I see the name Lee Smith, I think Chicago Cubs.
Correct.
I wouldn't even think Cardinals.
And a called strike 3. That 2-seamer. 5 strikeouts.
And that just came out of his back pocket, that pitch right there. He hasn't thrown that all game. So he's showing he has a lot of weapons. And using them at the right time is hugely appropriate. And that was the right time right there. Now he's going to go back and guys are going to go, what was that? Oh, that was a sinker off my quad. Well, we haven't seen that all day.
Drops a breaking ball in. It's 0-1.
You gotta like what you see, Jamie. Jerome Williams today, definitely. A lot of pitching savvy so far in this game.
The Phillies really did like him during the offseason. And he wound up going elsewhere. Phillies got Roberto Hernandez, who's now with the Dodgers. After he became available, they were in need of another starter. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Wong. Wong 0 for 2. He tried that pitch again, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got a little in reserve, too. Like right there, you can see it. Feel that ball hard.
On 1 hop, Utley. Friday, September 12th is the first of a 3-game series between the Phillies and the Miami Marlins. 2 night games and then the day game on Sunday. Sunday's giveaway, thanks to the New Jersey Education Association, is the Fanatic Oyo mini figurine and buildable dugout set. Free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Here's Holiday. Boy, he is right around the strike zone. It's showing with his splits, too. He's got 69 pitches, 47 strikes, 22 balls. It's also showing with what you guys talked about before, those first pitch strikes, Jamie, for Jerome Williams.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we would show, and we don't use this, but I was just thinking this to myself, if you showed a picture of the strike zone and dots to where he was in and out of the strike zone today, the strike zone would be full of them.
21 batters, 16 first pitch strikes.
But he's also pitched off the plate very effectively, too.
Line drive caught by Jimmy Rollins to his knees. A 1-2-3 fifth inning for Jerome Williams. Well, he's got a 4-run lead, and he's utilizing all of it here this afternoon. Throwing some strikes, getting some good defense. here at Citizens Bank Park. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game. Jimmy Rollins, just watch this one.
Right here, little humpback liner to Jimmy to his right. Makes it step and a dive. Again, this is what Jerome Williams needs. He needs this kind of defense behind him. And that is, it gives him a nice big thank you.
He's going to get that kind of defense, too, because he's throwing strikes. He's working fast.
That is our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Bottom of the 5th inning, Chase Utley will lead it off. Yeah, particularly with nobody on, his tempo has been smooth, it's been quick.
Yes, it has. And back to the play of the game. I get this car called an Equus in my sights.
You haven't got it yet? Huh? You haven't got it yet? We could put you in touch with a local Hyundai dealer. You've been talking about that car during the summer. You got to get it before time runs out. 0-2 to Utley. He singled home a run his first time up, grounded out his last time. In the dirt. And it's 1-2.
I'm sure Matt's got some connections.
He's got connections everywhere.
He knows everybody.
You might have to go north of the border, though. Back to the box. Yeah, there's one out here in the 5th inning.
That's a good sign. Chase hit 3 balls hard today. Going for a double the first time up, but he smoked it at the second baseman last time, and that was a well hit ball right back at the pitcher.
One thing about Chase, as intense as a player as he is, last night after he struck out looking, that's as outwardly upset as I think we've seen him, not only at the umpire but also at the in the dugout. He's banging some things around. Stairs, and it's 2-0 now to Howard. Talked to Larry today about all those moves that they had to make last night. Guys moving from position to position. Utley from second to first, back to second.
No.
And all that stuff.
No, but I talked to him about his ice bucket challenge.
Oh, did you? Did he wonder what that was?
No, he did one.
I didn't realize that he did it.
Did his own. And I'm just learning about that thing, that whole ice bucket thing.
Oh, you hadn't known about it?
Well, I knew about it. I didn't know the particulars of it. And he challenged the bull, I believe.
Okay.
Is that what you call it, challenge?
Yeah, he challenged him. Yep. This is yesterday inside the park. Sophie Regal to your right, Michelle DeVacaris to your left. The slow-mo camera shot. Now that's a good shot.
Yes, it is.
We had that on Matt last week in San Francisco.
You see Sophie's face? That's great.
0-1 the count. Well, they continue to raise millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. This is from the suite the other night.
Yeah, I remember watching that on TV.
Yeah. That's a lot of ice right there. A couple of the people I challenged I don't think have not responded as of yet.
Who did you challenge?
I challenged Jerry Seinfeld.
You serious?
Yeah, I did. I figured why not. And Rod Woodson. He's one of my partners for football. Greenwood fields that one and throws out Sizemore. Side is retired, so you're going to do it? Somebody's got to challenge you, Schmitty. Somebody's got to challenge you. taking big steps up the ladder of the National League batting average leaders. Coming into the homestand, Revere has acquired 5 4-hit games this season, the most in the majors, and tying the most for the Phillies in over 30 years. Since the last week of June, the man at the top of the lineup has batted well above .350. Night after night, Ben continues to set the table. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, speaking of the Ice Bucket Challenge, to a certain extent, the Fanatic on a beautiful summer afternoon, little Beach Boys action. He was able to coax one of the ushers and security guards over, and he bought right in, and then proceeded to make him feel like he was actually riding a wave. We begin the top of the 6th inning. And Jerome Williams starts Adams off. See, that's slow-mo. That's when the shot gets really effective. It's a lot of water. Just a bit outside, 2-1. All right.
So I guess you guys like the pace of this game based on our discussion last night. Pitchers are working fast.
Right around the strike zone. Umpires calling strikes.
Well, they're working fast, but you're right, Tom. Throwing strikes, trying to force contact.
And that's
what it's all about.
And the contact hasn't been overwhelming by any stretch. There's been a lot of those kind of swings.
Well, it's, again, the pitcher's got to think about it as contact on my terms, not the hitter's terms.
How about that one there? It was spitted back, and Adams realized it. He's like,
I better run.
Check out the ball, but there's a big cut in it.
It's like a mass. Oh, wow. You're right. Yeah. It looks like a masse shot there in the pool.
Now imagine if that comes into fair territory and he's got to throw it with that cut on it. That ball, based on how he picks it up, really going to take off. And again, we're talking about scuffing the ball last night. That's beyond a scuff.
It looked like the ball I played with down the park as a kid. You know, wrapped it, put tape around it.
Ashley will give this a look, and it's out of his reach, and it remains 3-2.
It actually looked like the dog had it for a couple hours.
It did look like it looked like Chase's dog Jack was throwing it around a little bit.
It's a long way to go for a foul ball there.
Jerome giving him a chance to catch his breath, get himself back into position.
In and out of the glove of Nieves for a foul ball. It remains 3-2. And there's ball 4. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. 9-pitch at bat results in walk number 3 for Jerome Williams. But here's Johnny Peralta. Whacks it foul. It's 0-1.
And you see, especially with the early contact here with these guys, they're either pulling it foul, they're beating it into the ground, and I think really what it does, it causes frustration. They're not getting the type of swing they want to swing at. And again, that's Jerome saying, look, swing at it, but swing at it on my terms. A lot of changeups early in the count, a lot of cutters and curveballs, or well-placed fastballs.
That's a foul ball. Yeah, and the confidence to throw all of them at any time.
And then being like his cutter, he's thrown a couple backdoor cutters. to the lefties. He's thrown it into the lefties, away from the righties, a curveball, both sides of the plate, change up both sides of the plate, fastballs to both sides of the plate. So now he goes from 4 pitches to 8 pitches. And Mike, I guarantee as a hitter, if you know a pitcher can't throw certain pitches to certain sides of the plate, you don't have to look for those pitches, and now you can become a little more fine-tuned to what you're looking for.
And a liner out toward left field. That'll drop for a base hit. And that puts runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 6th inning. Well, he certainly has wiggle room. He's up by 4. And he needs to get an out here with John Jay coming to the plate.
Yeah, this got the attention of manager Sandberg, I'm sure. You know, in this ballpark, these good Cardinal hitters, and they're good at rallying. You know, your 5-1 lead surely is not putting the game away. I mean, it's very, very much in touch.
He's used everybody but DeFreitas in last night's ball game. So John Jay is the hitter. He's been on base twice today. He singled and walked. That play 0-1.
I'm sure Jerome here is looking to try to make a pitch, a quality pitch early in the count to get a ground ball, hopefully to get a double play.
Sailed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The biggest thing I think with Jerome is when he's missing. He's not missing in the middle part of the plate. He's missing off the plate or below the zone. There's a very well located cut fastball in off the plate. John Jay has to make an adjustment to that, pull his hands in, and he swings over top of it.
The next time you're looking to pick up great seats to the game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Phillies tickets. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and much more. Fly ball, shallow left field. Dominic Brown puts it away for the first out. All right, JB, I want to ask you, in a situation like this, you're throwing a lot of pitches, you got a couple base runners. Are you relaxed a little bit more now that you got the first out if you're Jerome Williams?
Well, I don't know if relax is the best word to use, because you really can't relax in this situation. But now that you've got that first out, now you can say, okay, we're getting down to the bottom of the order. We've got a less experienced hitter here. I'm going to try to force him to swing at something that he does not want to swing at, but I've got to get ahead early in the count here.
He's at 90 pitches with 1 out here in the 6th, and he delivers just a bit inside, 1-0.
The thing I noticed right there with John Jay, a lot of hitters look away, and right there Jerome Williams stayed in with all of his pitches and got him to pop that ball up.
And a hot shot to second base, caught out of the air, a double play. All right, maybe that'll relax you a little bit.
Now I'm relaxed.
You can now relax in the dugout with everybody else. That ball was smoked off the bat at Tavares, but it turns out to be a double play started by Chase Utley, and will go to the bottom of the 6th. to you by Nissan. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF-NOW for an appointment. And by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy rights. It's beautiful here at Citizens Bank Park. It's beautiful out at the Art Museum. Phillies lead at 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Dominic Brown, Will Nieves, and Cody Ashe. 6, 7, and 8 for the Phils. The camera has found its way up to the upper deck behind home plate. Giving you a chance to see some of the sights around the ballpark that you may not have seen before. Dominic off the end of the bat floats that one to Carpenter's direction. Oh, and Nick Greenwood has come in, and all he's done is get outs. 7 in a row out of the bullpen.
See, from a hitting standpoint, that's one that I don't understand. I mean, it's the first pitch to you. I don't think I swung at a curveball or a breaking ball the first pitch my entire career because I couldn't hit it. I mean, I was looking fastball, Jamie. I mean, why would you not? We're all basically fastball hitters. I mean, why would you swing something other than a fastball? First pitch, first batter of the inning.
Unless it's a hanging.
Unless you're really a good breaking ball hitter and you know the pitcher and you're maybe he likes to get ahead of you, starting in the breaking ball, get over breaking ball. But squaring up a breaking ball is not easy.
Particularly lefty on lefty.
Yeah. What are the odds of you flopping a get-over curveball in there out against a left-handed hitter and him smoking a line drive somewhere first pitch?
And the only way he does if it's in the middle of the plate. If it's a hanging pitch in the middle of the plate. If it's away and down, you're right. It's a rollover, it's a pop-up, it's a foul ball.
But if the hitter is looked as he should be, looking for a fastball, first pitch, if he's going to be aggressive, it's got to be on a fastball. He probably have to flinch just a little bit or freeze just a little bit if it starts at his body, right?
You would think.
Enough on that.
That one is way up there. The catcher Cruz in foul territory. RBI Baseball is back with all 30 MLB teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details. And download today on your console or mobile device. Well, 2 quick outs, and Cody Ashe, who singled and scored his first time up, popped out his last time up. Ashe takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Mike, we may have talked about this before. Where do you think he could wind up, Ashe, that is, doubles, home run wise? Where do you think? Well, there's a grounder to second base. Probably unfair of me to ask you that with 2 outs.
I'll pick up on that next inning. I think it's an interesting thing we need to talk about.
9 in a row retired by Greenwood. We'll go to the 7th inning. The Phillies on top of the Cards, 5-1. it is good to be home here at Citizens Bank Park. And for the Phillies, they won 2 of 3 against the Mariners. They're trying to pick up another series here against the Cardinals. They're off to a 5-1 lead as Jerome Williams is about to begin his 7th inning here this afternoon. 5 strikeouts and 4 hits for Williams so far over 6 innings, and a lot of first pitch strikes and just a lot of strikes overall, in command of the strike zone. And he will face Tony Cruz. And then the pitcher's spot, Greenwood is out in the on-deck circle. And there is nobody warming up in the bullpen for the Cardinals. So it looks like he is, at least at this point, going to bat. First pitch is served out toward right center field, and Revere is able to make the catch. I wasn't sure if that ball was going to hang up for either Revere or Sizemore.
That's a lot of ground right there.
Sure was.
Benson straightaway right field right now after catching that ball. Well, he covered a lot of ground there.
Had it the whole way.
Give him time to get his breath.
Notice how he looked that ball right into his glove. His eyes were on it the whole time.
Greenwood takes a strike. It's 0-1. Greenwood has 3 at-bats so far this year. I think this is a result of last night's extra inning game.
No question. No question.
Another one out toward right center. Not as deep, but these lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They were each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship.
You gotta like Jerome Williams, 4 pitches, 2 outs right here. Give his track star a couple seconds to get back into position in center field.
Revere over toward left center now. That Carpenter's 0 for 2. Well, Ben, if you like the first 2, you're going to get another chance, and this time he glides right under it. How about a 5?
Need to check his pulse right now.
He had to touch the fence and just hang out for a second. That's a 5-pitch 7th inning for Jerome Williams.
Jerome and Ben.
And the heart rate is rising. All right, Marshall, we appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a good outing for Jerome. I'd be interested to get Ben Davis's take on what he sees here this afternoon. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-1 Phillies lead. And as promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. This one comes from Ast3ARN, a collage from Photo Day. Photo Day was earlier this season here at Citizens Bank Park. It's always a great day for the fans. And fans to get a chance to see their favorite Phillies player. Tweet your photo to hashtag #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown at an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
I want to know where I can get one of those, what would you call that? Is it a dress? Is it a skirt that Nicole had on there?
I think it was a combination combo.
Wrap around,
combo shirt.
I need to get one of those for my wife.
Hope Donna can sing the way Nicole can sing.
Well, I'm not going to answer. Donna can sing.
Donna can sing.
Well, Nicole's good. That was really a good anthem. Good God Bless America for sure.
Well, Jerome Williams is going to bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
How about Jerome Williams today? 22 out of 28 first pitch strikes. That's saying something right there.
Give him a chance to pitch the 8th inning.
3 first pitch outs.
Well, this game's just what the doctor ordered so far.
Are you speaking from a Phillies standpoint or from your standpoint?
Oh, no, Phillies. Baseball's crazy. Anything can happen. Don't get me wrong, but it almost, based upon the way the Cardinals went after their at bats in that last inning. I mean, I just wonder if they would have a white towel if they throw it on the field. Now, that's not to jinx this game.
But it was
just gives you that kind of a sense that they just feel like they don't have it today.
Yeah, it was surprising. 5 pitches, 3 outs, all recorded by Ben Revere. Coming up to the plate here.
Can we revisit this Ashe question from the last inning? Yeah, I think Cody Ashe is had a very good learning year. I think he's going to be at 12 home runs, 60 RBI, in the 250 range. But at the end of the year, he's going to look back and have learned a lot. I think going into spring training next year, he'll feel like he'll feel like more of a veteran as Ben gets himself another one on the way to that batting title, which is. I saw that run and he did in center field the last inning. Didn't bother him. It's nice to see after 0 for 5 last night. Ben get 2 knocks today. But I think Cody will go into spring training with a lot of confidence next year. And not only offensively but defensively, I think he's made some fantastic plays this year. Yeah, we've seen a strange game here and there. I remember that one he had earlier in the year where he made the 3 errors in one game, which has long since been forgotten. I shouldn't even bring it up, but I think he's setting himself up for a great next year for the Philadelphia Phillies.
I think what you said too about the learning year, having this experience at this level.
Well, I hit 196 in my learning year.
So you like his learning year better.
Yeah.
1 ball and 1 strike to Rollins with Revere over at first. Phillies up 5-1. We're here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Jamie, on your side of the coin, we a couple of young pitchers. I think the same thing happened to them.
Would definitely agree with that, Mike. It's a great assessment. You look at Hollins, Diekman. Where else do we want to go? Giles. Got to see, they got a little bit of a taste of what, or actually not a little, a big taste.
You throw Jimenez in there too. I mean, he's a little older, but still.
David Buchanan is
another one who probably didn't expect in the beginning of the season, if you would have asked him if he thought he would have, going to, say we get to the end of the season, 15 to 20 starts. in the major leagues. And he's shown pretty well for himself. They all have. They really have. And they're all homegrown. That's what's really cool.
3 balls, 1 strike to Jimmy Rollins with Revere over at first base. Rollins 0 for 3 today. He struck out a couple times. He's grounded out, batting right-handed here. And a toss over to first. Murph, as we take a look at our Mazda leaders, Jimmy Rollins is in some rarefied air with some of his numbers again.
He certainly is, Tom. And you get earlier in this homestand, he got his 800th career extra base hit. You couple that as he puts a charge into that one.
801, Murph. 2-run home run for Jimmy Rollins, just adding to that list. And he's made it a 7-1 ball game with his 16th home run of the season.
Well, there you go. You can add that to his extra base hit list, Tom. Giving him 801 in his career. And as I was going to say, take a look at this company that he's in. 800 plus extra base hits, 450 stolen bases or more. You've got Barry Bonds at the top of that list, and Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Paul Molitor, Ricky Henderson, Joe Morgan, Ed Delahanty, and then Jimmy Rollins on that list. So some rarefied air for Jimmy Rollins as he connects on that one in the long ball too.
Well, he likes those numbers, and so does Stan Swalla of Wayne, Pennsylvania. He's just won $100 thanks to the McDonald's home run jackpot. And that home run by Rollins, which gives the Phils a 6-run lead, and it sends Nick Greenwood to the showers. He had retired 10 in a row. Then the base hit by Revere, and the home run by Rollins, and the Phillies have busted it open.
Nick Greenwood may have just given up Rollins' 2-run home run, but he did a good job for the Cardinals today. Probably pitched an inning, inning or two longer than he's normally used to pitching. And somebody had to be the sacrificial lamb out there today for the Cardinals bullpen.
Well, a beautiful swing by Jimmy Rollins makes it a 7-1 ball game. We'll tell you about Randy Choate when we return. The Phillies just tacked on a couple on that home run by Jimmy Rollins, and back to the bullpen for the Cardinals. Randy Choate, the veteran, who pitched in last night's ball game, will pitch here again against Chase Utley with 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch is outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Choate's numbers 2-2 with a 4.99 ERA. He was charged with those runs last night, the 2 runs that tied the game, as Pat Neshek gave up the bloop single off the bat of Marlon Byrd. Those are his runners.
Well, he's really a specialist for Mike Matheny to come in and face left-handed hitters. As you saw right there, left-handers are hitting 115 against him.
Big at bat last night was when he hit Ryan Howard. That one's out toward right center field, and Tavares will put it away. Utley's retired for out number 2.
Chase hit the ball hard 4 times today now. Only 1 hit to show for it.
Does that part of it ever get easier to accept as a hitter?
Well, not really. You used to always say they even out. I guarantee you they never evened out for me. I guarantee you. I hit 10 line drive outs for every. I didn't get any broken bad hits, but for every cheap hit I got, I guarantee you I hit 10 balls hard that were caught. And that's part of it. You know, that's part of it.
Howard is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored.
It's all about when you get them.
See, that one's hit hard right there, but right into the shifts. And Howard is retired by Wong. Phillies get 2 on the home run by Rollins. So Jerome Williams will go back to work now with a 6-run lead. Toyota, the annual clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. All right, guys, still time for some ice cream. Look at that guy. He's enjoying not only ice cream, but also a cookie with that ice cream.
They closed up shop back here. Went in and tried to get some ice cream, some Turkey Hill. That's going to try the Grand Slam.
Bet you if we called Frank, he'd come back in and go get it for you. He'd open the lockup. He'd probably get it here on the Hall of Fame Club. I don't know if we can get butter pecan though, Jamie. That's the only problem. To the 8th inning, Colton Wong leads it off. Well, say what you want for the Phillies offense. It's partly the reason why Williams is in here in the 8th inning, but he is the story today in a lot of ways. 32-year-old,
17 runs in 3 games.
Yeah, their numbers have been better here at home. Extra base hits. Rollins hits that home run today. All part of it. And Howard is there. The feed to Williams. Matt Holliday's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook, Murph.
All right, Tom, thank you. Brought to you by Gwynedd Mercy University, and the Detroit Tigers are without Miguel Cabrera today. He was scratched from the lineup after nagging sore ankle. He needs to rest. He re-aggravated that ankle last night in the second game of a doubleheader. The team has off tomorrow before they start a 3-game series with the Yankees, so they're hoping the 2 days combined will get him back out on the field. And Masahiro Tanaka is still working his way back from that elbow injury with the New York Yankees, getting set to take that next step. He's going to throw in a simulated game. He's already thrown in one. He's going to throw in a second simulated game. More than 35 pitches. They are hopeful on his way back from that elbow injury, in hopes that in September he can come back and actually pitch for the big club. He has that torn ligament in his elbow, partially torn, and they're trying to avoid surgery. But so far, so good during his rehab process, guys.
Yeah, he seems to be optimistic about it. I would think if you're the Yankees and you monitor this anyway, but more so with a guy like Tanaka, they may be monitoring it even more because it seems like he's anxious to get back out there and get out on the mounds. 2-0 pitch to Holiday. And a liner out towards center field. That'll drop in front of Revere. 1-out single. The other story too about Cabrera, that's an extremely important piece for the Tigers, who are battling really for, I mean, they're battling for the division, but they're 3 behind the Royals in the division, but they're also battling for a wild card right now with the American League West teams.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. With Tanaka, you know, either way, I think it's going to be a good thing, because he either comes back healthy and is fine, or if he ends up having to have surgery, he'll come out of surgery a lot better because he's been rehabbing. He'll be way stronger coming out of surgery.
Fly ball right center field. Revere toward the track. Holiday's tagging from first, and Ben fires towards second. 2 outs.
Ben's getting his sprints in out there in center field.
Sure is. He's going to sleep well tonight. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3. And Jerome Williams certainly has added to that today with 3 1-2-3 innings. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. There's Daniel Descalso, who will pinch hit. He scored the go-ahead run last night. Turned out to be the winning run in the 12th inning. Last time he pitched at least 8 innings. He was with the Angels last year against the Seattle Mariners. Up high, 1-0. Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike. I do believe there must have been some juggling going on in that ball. Outside with an off-speed pitch, and it's 2-1.
Jamie looks like he's getting a little tired out there. You know, he's
pushing the ball a little bit to the plate instead of getting his fingers on top. Big out right here. Get this out. Call her a day.
Bob McClure's on the phone, making sure that Pistardo and DeFreitas are ready to go if they need them. Fly ball center field. Who else but Ben Revere? He's been making a path from left to right out there in center field these last couple innings. 5 putouts for Revere in the 7th and 8th inning combined. Middle of the 8th. Heck of a job today by Jerome Williams. When the Phillies take on the Marlins at 7:05. The Cabrini College knit hat, free defense, 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. It's always a great item, usually given out in the month of September. Phillies lead this one 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Shane Robinson is in to play left field for the Cardinals. Daniel Descalso is on to play shortstop. Robinson will bat 9th. Descalso has already batted. Martinez, the new pitcher, will bat 3rd. As Grady Sizemore will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
This kiss cam's a good funny thing, isn't it? One guy's going, no. Maybe they weren't husband and wife.
It is when you find folks that aren't together and you put them up on the board. Martinez's 42nd game. Ground ball right side. And 1 out here in the 8th inning. Well, there's Jerome Williams. He's wrapping up that arm. He's congratulating. Has been congratulated by a few different people. As Jamie said, a job well done. 8 innings. Boy, can't really ask for much more than that from him.
Right when the Phillies needed it, too.
Outside, 1 ball and no strikes to Dominic Brown. Dominic is 1 for 3 with a run scored. And now 2 outs here in the 8th inning. Adams walking back Martinez to the mound area as DeFreitas warms up. Jamie, you saw how Ruiz handled Williams the other day. Nieves did a nice job handling him here today too.
And it worked very well together. I'm sure they sat down with a game plan, and it makes it a lot easier for any catcher when you have a pitcher that has the ability to throw all 4 of his pitches to both sides of the plate. Be able to throw his off-speed pitches ahead in the count, behind the count, early in the count, late in the count, and locate his fastball.
Davis is a hit and 3 at bats. 0-1. Andres Blanco and Williams.
Davis needs a base hit right here to make his prediction come true. In the batting cage this morning, he walked in. He said, "I want to have the perfect fingers today and 2 hits."
Outside,
all
1
he
and
needs
2.
is a hit.
His average up to 291. He's really done a very good job as Ruiz's backup this year. Carlos was on the DL with the concussion earlier this season. Nieves was on the DL too, but Carlos plays just about every day, and Nieves has been able to keep himself sharp. And he goes after a breaking ball. So a quick bottom of the 8th inning for the Phillies as Martinez retires the Phils in order. So Justin DeFreitas is going to come out here in the 9th inning to try to seal the deal in a 7-1 lead.
And DeFreitas in to close this one out for the Phillies. And as we mentioned before, once the Cardinals leave town, the Washington Nationals will head in for a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Tanner Roark against A.J. Burnett in game number 1 on Monday night. Tuesday night, Gio Gonzalez will take on Cole Hamels. That should be a good one on Tuesday at 7:05. And Wednesday, Doug Fisher throwing for the Nationals. Kyle Kendrick will go for the Phils. And a reminder that Wednesday night, they will be celebrating the Taney Dragons here at Citizens Bank Park. And you can go online for tickets for that one as well. So Washington Nationals coming to town for 3, guys.
Yeah, Phillies hoping to play spoilers as far as the division goes. The Nationals lead the division by 7 as play began today. They're tied at 6 right now with the San Francisco Giants. Justin DeFreitas is looking to get the last 3 outs needed to finish up another positive series for the Phils. They took 2 of 3 from the Mariners, and they're trying to take 2 of 3 from the Cardinals. John Jay will lead it off. Phillies welcome in the Nationals. The Cardinals will head to Pittsburgh to take on the Pirates following this series. Just off the outside corner. But they have 6 games against the Pirates in the next 8 or 9 days. Cardinals do. Back toward the middle. DeFreitas has got it. He wanted to make sure he had it. All right, guys, time now for a W.B. Mason delivery of the game. It's not often that we use a safety squeeze as the delivery of the game.
Jerome Williams does a great job and gets himself in a good position. Wants the ball towards first base, makes the first baseman field it. Great running right there. Down the third base line, scoring. And that is the W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And by the way, that was the 2nd run for the Phillies.
Yeah, they've added 5 more, but that 2nd run right now is all they've needed.
It was great execution. Dominic Brown read that ball very well coming down the line. Jerome Williams did a great job in getting that ball to the right side of the infield. Give Ryan Sandberg some credit for putting that on.
Out of play, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You're going to see the Washington Nationals coming in. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to be glued to the TV. That's a team that's going to be sort of setting the tone in the division for a few years to come. The Phillies to sort of size themselves up against the team that's at the top. They know how it is because we were at the top for many years and other teams were doing that. But I think that Washington Nationals now kind of reaching the stride that we've kind of all been waiting for them to reach in the last few years.
You think about where they are now. They're a week away from beginning September with a fairly comfortable lead in the division, depending on how this last week winds down. Up high, 2-2. One of their keys has been the guy that's going to pitch tomorrow. Murph mentioned Tanner Roark. 12 wins and an earned run average of 2.8.
I don't think Zimmerman's back yet, right? That left side of that infield, the shortstop and Rendon, is it?
Correct.
The third baseman. That's a strong left side of the infield.
Well, the Cabrera addition at second base has really helped them defensively, even offensively. Clubhouse wise, they say. That ball is ripped into right field. Tavares hit the ball hard in this series. Today he has. He hit into a double play his last time. And he's got a double with 1 out. Well, Ben Davis is standing by with Marshall Harris. They're going to talk about this matchup between the Phils and the Cardinals only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post-Game Live.
And that double play he hit last time was a line drive smoke to Chase Utley.
Yeah, and that was a 5-1 lead at that time. So that was it's one of those big plays that we talk about for Jerome Williams. Here's Cruz. It's 0-1 to Cruz. Cruz is 0 for 3. Phillies have Bastardo starting to throw in the bullpen. Chopper back toward the middle, and they'll be able to get an out at first. 2 outs. 1 out to go.
I think we got this one.
Feel good about it?
Yeah, I feel good about it now, and I think my record is somewhere around on Sundays is somewhere around 4-7-ish, something like that.
7-3 overall, if you want to count today. 7-13, I'm sorry, overall on Sundays for the team. Count today, they'll be 8-13.
I was talking about Sundays, little Sundays with Schmidt program.
You going to count last night though?
No.
Oh. Okay. Just going to count Sundays. Because you had a streak going where
started off with 3-0.
Correct. And then you had the
no-hitter,
and then the rest of the next few weeks weren't really successful from a win-loss standpoint. Out to right field.
But it's been a blast.
Sundays with Schmidt was successful today. That's right. The Phillies put it away. They win it 7-1. They take the series from the Cardinals. They win 2 of 3. A huge boost from Jerome Williams here this afternoon. And the offense executed well. Jimmy Rollins' 2-run home run kind of put things away. Ben Revere, another 2-hit day. That guy was the storyline right there. Jerome Williams, he's being congratulated right now by his teammates as he walks out to congratulate everybody else. And he was fun to watch here today from a pitching standpoint. He was fun to watch.
A lot of things fun to watch today. 7 runs was fun to watch. Larry Boa said, when are we going to have a game where we can get maybe an 8-run lead or something? Well, Larry, we didn't get the 8-run lead, but we had a 6-run lead most of the game. So, yeah, it was fun, and it's fun to watch Jerome Williams, Jamie. This smooth operator out there.
Yeah, he was. He's our Chevrolet player of the game today, but here's why he was deserving of that right here. These highlights, very effective, especially with the middle part of the Cardinals lineup. Really kept them at bay all day. Got a lot of ground balls. Defense was involved. And threw a lot of breaking balls behind in the count, or when he was behind in the count and even the count. Some backdoor pitches. That front door sinker. I mean, just a very well pitched game. Again, 2 starts in a row here at home has put on a clinic. And then, oh, by the way, laid down a nice bunt. Drive into second run, and he's down on the field with Greg Murphy.
All right, thanks a lot, Jamie. Up here with Jerome Williams, and quite an afternoon for you. Your second win in a Phillies uniform. And let's talk about your approach that you took to this Cardinals lineup. A good Cardinals lineup, and it seemed like first pitch strikes was good for you, and a lot of maybe off-speed stuff early on.
Yeah, I know they're a very, very aggressive team. Just wanted to mix the ball in and out, up and down, change speeds, make guys off balance.
Yeah, you've pitched obviously in the National League before, but in this league you have to help yourself out sometimes, and you were able to do that as well. Have you ever been asked to do a safety squeeze before?
Oh yeah, I mean, I came up with the Giants. I played National League before, but I kind of knew in that situation, runners on first and third, just try and get the ball to the right side. Try and get it past the pitcher or something. Try and get that run in.
In your first 2 starts with the Phillies, you talked about working with Carlos Ruiz and how much that helped you. Today you get a chance to work with Will Nieves, and it doesn't look like you guys missed a beat.
Oh, we never missed a beat. Actually, I pitched with Will in Puerto Rico, so I know how he catches. I know, and he knows how I pitch. So, it's just two things gelled together, and we did a good job out there.
Fans are just getting to know Jerome Williams in Philadelphia, but one thing we've already learned is that you just love playing this game and have a lot of fun, and that's the attitude it looked like you had this entire game.
I always have fun. I mean, no matter win or lose, you got to have fun with this game. You can't take this game for granted. Every time I'm in the dugout, I'm always playing around, joking around, laughing, joking around with the manager, everybody. So I got to be loose.
Well, you were loose today, and you were good today, Jerome. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that very much. Great job by Jerome Williams. 8 innings, 1 run, and the offense took care of the rest. The Phillies take 2 of 3 from the St. Louis Cardinals. They win today 7-1. We'll be back after this.